So this is the story of the time that my appendix nearly killed me. So this happened 2 summers ago when I was an orientation leader at my school for the summer. So one day I just went and got lunch, and me and my friend Ansley got this Chinese restaurant in town called Swen. And I always get the same exact order. I get chicken fried rice, no vegetables, a little bit spicy, because I'm kind of crazy like that. It was so good, like I ate the entire thing for lunch, and then I didn't really do anything that whole day, just kind of sat around.
Loser! You're a loser! Are you feeling sorry for yourself? Well, you should be, because you are dirt! You make me sick, you big baby! Baby want a bottle? A big dirt bottle?
So then that night for dinner, I was like, what should I get for dinner? And then I was like, I'll get Swen again, because it was so good for lunch. So I ordered the same exact thing, chicken fried rice, no vegetables, a little bit spicy, and I ate the whole thing again. It was so good. I love chicken fried rice. I would recommend it to all my friends and all my foes, even. What? The next day, my friend Royce and we had to go pick up our other friend Spencer from the airport, because he flew from Birmingham to Atlanta, and then from Atlanta back to Birmingham. So we had to pick him up from the Birmingham airport. So we were driving there in the morning, and the whole time I'm thinking like, I am so hungry, like my stomach feels like it's about to eat itself. So the whole time I was like, well, we'll pick up Spencer from Birmingham, and then we'll just eat something. Like, I need a big meal. So we get Spencer from the airport, and then we're coming back to Tuscaloosa, and I'm like, let's go to Cracker Barrel. Like, they have... The food there is pretty good, I guess. Like, it's big portions, and I'm so hungry right now. So we go to Cracker Barrel, and I get like the Big Mama's breakfast, or whatever it's called. And as we're sitting there and waiting for the food to come out, I just am feeling more and more sick at this point. Like, it's not even like I'm hungry, I'm just feeling ill. Before the food even gets out, I have to rush to the restroom, and I just throw up everywhere in this Cracker Barrel restaurant. Here's a photo of me. There I am on the Cracker Barrel toilet, vomiting, and I didn't even get to eat Big Mama's breakfast that day. So we get back to our dorm, and I just cannot stop throwing up. Like, I am in our bathroom like it is bad how much I am throwing up. I don't even have food in me because the last thing I ate was chicken fried rice, no vegetables, a little bit spicy. So I go and knock on Spencer's door, and I'm like, Spencer, will you please take me to the student health center? At first he didn't answer. And then I like kept knocking. I'm like, Spencer, and he goes, wah! Like literally like a baby, wang, because he was trying to he said he had to take a nap, so he couldn't take me. So I'm a Taurus.
Oh, what? What?
So I'm very stubborn, so I just drove myself to the student health center, which I would not recommend to anybody, friend or foe. If you are sick, do not go and drive yourself anywhere, because you're not going to be able to get your car back, baby. And you might pass out at the wheel even. I don't know. I drive all the way to the health center, and it's closed. So I'm like livid at this point because I just cannot stop throwing up. So I drive back and call my friend Ansley, and I'm like, Ansley, can you drive me to something? Because I didn't really think I had to go to the hospital at that point. I was just like, I need some like medicine, I don't know. So Ansley comes and picks me up. So Ansley comes and picks me up, and she takes me to the urgent care. So I hobble into the urgent care, and I'm like, hey, like I need to see someone immediately, like I cannot stop throwing up. And they were like, oh, okay, we just have to fill out this sheet of paper, because there's no one there. So I'm like filling it out, and I was like, insurance number. I was like, well, I don't have my insurance card on me right now. So I call my mom, and I was like, can you send me pictures of my insurance card? So I hand the papers back, and they're like, okay. I was like, I'm just waiting on the insurance card. They're like, that's fine. So we sit there for probably like 10 minutes, and no one has said a word to me. So I go up to the desk, and I'm like, ma'am, I'm really sorry, but I'm about to throw up in this lobby if I don't see somebody right now. And they're like, oh, well, we don't have your insurance card. And I was like, I was so upset because like, it's my fault for not having my insurance card, but at the same time, like, I'm about to throw up everywhere. So I finally go and see a doctor, and they like hook me up to some IV, and I'm finally feeling better. And they're like, we're just gonna run some like tests on you. I'm no medical professional. I don't know what tests they ran on me. You would have thought Ansley was my mother though, because like I was just sitting there getting the IV. I didn't ask a single question. I just wanted to stop throwing up. And she's like, well, what fluids is he getting? Like, what's wrong with him? This, that, third. Thank God she was there. Otherwise, who knows what would have happened. So they like have me up to these fluids. For probably like an hour, I'm sitting in urgent care, and the doctor comes in, and they were like, yeah, like he could probably stay here on these fluids.
He's gotta go to a hospital.
And I was like, that's exactly what I said. So they disconnect me from the fluids or whatever, and I throw up again before we even leave urgent care. So we drive over to DCH, which is the hospital in town. It's not known for being the best hospital. I had never been there personally. So we roll up, I'm like hobbling back in because I'm off my IVs at this point for like a minute. So of course I die again. And they're like, okay, yeah, we'll get you in. I had my insurance information at this point, so there was no stopping me this time. So they get me into the hospital, and they're like, yeah, we have no room right now. So they put me in a bed in the hallway. I don't know if that's protocol. But I was laying in the hallway for about an hour. Just people walking around me, you know. I felt like a decorative plant at that. Yeah, it was really interesting. So then they finally put me in a room after about an hour. And my mom was like freaking out at this point. She was like,
do I need to come down? Like, me and Dad are on the way. I'm like,
I mean, it's really not that big of a deal. Like, they don't seem like they're in that big of a rush to get anything. Like, if anything, I'm just gonna get some more fluid and go home.
Or so I thought.
So they run all these tests on me. They like put me in all these tubes, all these machines. I really have no idea what's going on at this point. And all these people kept coming and visiting me the whole time, and like my phone was blowing up like, oh my God, are you okay? Like, it felt so good to have so much attention. I loved it. It was so nice. So eventually, I think I was at the hospital for a total of 6 hours. My parents were about 2 hours away at this point. This doctor comes in, he's like,
yeah, your appendix is about to burst. We are about to do emergency surgery.
It's like 11 p.m. at this point, and I was like, oh. So I call my mom, I'm like, yeah, I'm going into surgery. Didn't really ask any questions because I'm about to bust, so call you later. Peace. So, they like rushed me into the hospital. I was already in. Where'd they go? So they like rushed me into the operating room, and they like put me under some anesthesia, and then after that I don't really remember anything. So fast forward to the next day, I am in my hospital bed, and I ain't got no panties on.
Pull them panties off, yeah. Pull them panties off, hell yeah. Pull them panties off on the dance floor.
I ain't got no panties on, ain't got no panties on. I ain't got no panties on the dance floor. I ain't got no panties on, ain't got no panties on. I ain't got no panties on the dance floor.
And I was so confused because I was like, why don't I have underwear on? And my friend was in the room, and he was like, yeah, you got in an argument with the nurse last night, and she asked if you wanted your underwear on, and apparently I said no. And then she came back a few minutes later, and I was like demanding that she put my underwear on, and she said, it's too late now. So I just had no underwear on, and I felt very ill.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they...
When my doctor came in afterwards, I was like, well, I have a trip for DC planned in like 3 days. Am I gonna be able to go? And he was like,
I guess, sure.
So I was like, convincing. I accepted it. I'm going to DC. My mom was like, maybe not. I said, maybe. So I was like off work for the next few days, just like getting bed rest. And then we had to go to the Atlanta airport to go to DC. I didn't really want to walk around the airport because the Atlanta airport's super busy. So we ended up getting a wheelchair for me when we were in the airport. And we're on like the plane train, you know, the train that's for the plane underground in the Atlanta airport, because we're at the Atlanta airport and we were about to board the plane. So Spencer was the one that was pushing me in the wheelchair, and we were on the train, and I was parked right next to this elderly woman who was also in a wheelchair. Apparently wheelchairs have locks that you have to put into place. I'm a novice, I didn't know this. So, and neither did Spencer apparently. So we started going on the train and my wheelchair just went slammed right into this old woman, and she said, she let out the frailest, "Oh," when we hit her. Old lady, if you're watching this, I'm so sorry. I never meant to cause you harm. And then we went to DC and it was fun. I sweat a lot. It was very sweaty. I was very hot. Moral of the story is, never eat chicken fried rice for 2 meals in one day.